Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into ChatGPT and, specifically how it's shaking up higher education.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've all heard of ChatGPT by now, right?
Right.
But this is huge GE.
Huge, yeah.
The entire California State University system, all 23 campuses, are teaming up with OpenAI to bring ChatGPT to everyone.
Wow.
That's over 460,000 students
Yeah.
and 63,000 faculty and staff. It's massive. And the really fascinating part is this isn't just about students using it to, write essays.
No.
It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
We're talking personalized tutoring, streamlining all those tasks, even prepping students for a future where AI is everywhere. And to help us unpack all of this, we've got our expert here who's been following this whole story super close.
Yeah, this is a really unprecedented move by CSU. Like, they're not just testing the waters, they're jumping right in.
So let's get into the specifics. What does this partnership actually look like in practice?
Well, CSU is rolling out what they're calling ChatGPT Edu. You can kind of think of it like ChatGPT, but specifically made for schools and learning. It's got these extra security features that's built right into their system. So
That's pretty integrated.
yeah. But here's the really interesting part. They're also setting up this thing called an AI Commons.
Okay, AI Commons. Now I'm curious.
Right. So it's this online hub, free access for everyone in the CSU system. Students, faculty, staff, doesn't matter. But it's not just access. They're going to have training and support to go along with it.
So making sure everyone can actually use it no matter how tech-savvy they are.
Exactly. Leveling that playing field so everyone benefits.
That's ambitious, especially with a system as big as CSU. But what are students and faculty actually going to do with this ChatGPT Edu? Can you give me some concrete examples?
So for students, imagine having a tutor like On-Call 247. ChatGPT Edu can answer their questions, give feedback on assignments, even create like custom study guides. It knows what they need help with.
Like a personalized study buddy, but virtual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of what Khan Academy is doing with Conmigo Lite, their AI tutor.
Yeah.
With that same idea of personalized learning.
Right.
But CSU's taking it to another level. I mean, the scale of this thing. They're aiming to make AI part of like almost every aspect of learning.
Yeah. CSU's always been pretty innovative, so it's not surprising they're leading the charge here. But are other schools doing this? Is this a trend that's catching on?
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just education either. ChatGPT is changing all kinds of fields. You've got businesses using it to, get things done faster, automate stuff. Even creative industries are getting in on it.
Really? Like how?
Like Canva, the design platform, they're using ChatGPT to help people create better presentations and social media stuff.
Canva using AI for design, huh? Shows how versatile this thing is. But back to education for a sec. What are the actual benefits of using AI like this? Is there proof it helps students learn better?
Oh, yeah. There's a growing amount of research showing AI's positive impact in education. Like, there was this Harvard study that used an AI tutor in a physics class, and student engagement doubled.
Wow, doubled. That's huge, especially for physics.
Yeah, and their problem-solving skills improved a lot, too.
So it's not just about getting better grades.
Not at all. It's about giving both students and faculty more time and energy to actually focus on the deeper stuff. Less time grading, more time for mentoring, less time making study guides, more time for research.
So not replacing teachers, but giving them, like, superpowers.
Exactly. It's all about amplifying what humans can do, not replacing them. That's where the real potential is.
This all sounds pretty incredible, but I'm sure there are challenges too, right? I mean, integrating AI into education on this scale, there's got to be some downsides.
Oh, for sure. It's not all perfect. Like, one big concern is how to prevent misuse. How do we stop students from just using ChatGPT to do all the work for them instead of actually learning?
Right, like it's like using a calculator without understanding the math behind it.
Exactly. And that's why CSU's focus on training and responsible use is so important. It's not just giving students this powerful tool and saying good luck. It's about teaching them how to use it right.
Like teaching someone to drive, you don't just hand over the keys, you got to teach them the rules of the road, right?
Right. And with AI, we're still figuring out those rules. It's a whole new frontier.
So it seems like CSU is really trying to get ahead of these potential problems, but even with the best intentions, sometimes things go wrong, especially with new tech like AI. What are some things that could happen even if everyone's trying to use ChatGPT the right way?
Well, even when it's used responsibly, there's still that risk of students becoming, too reliant on it.
Ah, I see.
Like, they might depend on ChatGPT so much for coming up with ideas or organizing their writing that they don't develop those skills themselves.
Yeah, like using GPS all the time. You get to your destination, but you never learn the streets.
Exactly. And then there's the worry that it could, stifle creativity. If students are always turning to ChatGPT for inspiration, they might miss out on discovering things for themselves.
Right. It's like the difference between paint by numbers and creating your own artwork.
Exactly. Plus, we've got to remember these AI tools, they're still pretty new. They're powerful, but not perfect. They can get confused by tricky questions or misinterpret things, even give out wrong information sometimes.
So it's not like this magic solution for all of education's problems.
Right. It's a tool, and like any tool, it has its limits.
What are some of the things that ChatGPT still struggles with?
One of the biggest ones is reasoning. Like it can process tons of information and write like a human, but it doesn't really understand things the way we do,
You can write a good essay, but it can't debate philosophy or write a scientific paper.
at least not yet. But hey, who knows? Maybe someday. AI is constantly evolving.
It's a moving target then. So we need to be ready for a future where AI is getting smarter, but also be aware of what it can't do yet. Sounds like a balancing act. But back to CSU for a second. How are they handling these concerns about, misuse and students relying too much on ChatGPT?
Well, one big thing is the training and education they're providing. They're not just throwing ChatGPT at everyone and saying, figure it out.
It's like giving someone a power tool, but you got to give them the manual too, right?
Exactly. CSU is also working on setting clear guidelines and policies for using AI in schoolwork. Things like plagiarism, data privacy, all that.
It's like setting the ground rules for this new AI age. But even with rules, some people will always try to bend them. How do we deal with that bigger challenge?
Yeah, that's a tough one. And it's bigger than just education. We need everyone involved, policymakers, teachers, tech people, the public. We got to talk openly about the good and the bad of AI.
It sounds like a huge task, but it's got to be done if we want to use AI for good. But let's switch gears a bit. What does this rise of ChatGPT and all these other AI tools mean for jobs and just like society as a whole?
That's the question, isn't it? A lot of experts are trying to figure that out. But one thing's for sure, AI is going to change what skills you need to succeed in the future.
So what skills should students be learning if they want to be ready for this AI-powered world?
Well, the good news is a lot of those skills are already being taught.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, communication, working together. These are all super important for employers, and they're things AI can't do very well.
So the human touch is still valuable even in an AI world.
Absolutely. In fact, those human skills will probably be even more important as AI takes over more of the routine stuff. We'll need people who can think for themselves, solve tough problems, talk to each other, and work with both humans and machines.
So it's not humans versus machines, it's humans plus machines.
Exactly. And this teamwork, it could lead to amazing progress in things like healthcare, education, research, you name it.
It's like we're entering a new era of discovery, but all this future talk can get a bit abstract. Any concrete examples of how AI is already doing good in the world?
Oh, definitely. Like in healthcare, AI is helping analyze medical images, find diseases early on, even personalize treatments.
Wow, so AI is literally saving lives.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's not just healthcare. AI is being used to make new educational tools, create cleaner energy, even tackle poverty and hunger.
So it's not all doom and gloom about robots taking over?
Not at all. AI has the potential to make things better,
Yeah.
but WE have to make sure it's used the right way.
Sounds like we're at a crossroads. We've got this powerful technology, but we need to be careful with it.
You got it. And that's why it's so important to talk about all this.
Okay, before we get into OpenAI's plans for the future of ChatGPT, let's quickly go over what we've learned so far. We talked about the possible downsides of AI in education, but also how important it is to use it responsibly, have the right training, and have this bigger conversation about ethics and rules.
It's a tricky situation, and things are changing fast. But by staying informed and having these conversations, we can make sure AI is used for the right reasons.
It really is a lot to consider, and we could probably talk about this for hours.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's move on to OpenAI's plans for ChatGPT. What's coming up in the future? Any big changes or updates on the horizon?
Well, OpenAI, they're always pushing the limits with AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been hinting at some exciting stuff, making ChatGPT even more accessible, making it better at reasoning, and tackling some of those big societal questions we talked about.
Let's break those down one by one. Starting with accessibility, how are they making ChatGPT available to more people? Is it just about the cost, or are there other hurdles they're trying to overcome?
It's both, actually. For cost, they're looking at different options, like maybe free versions for students and teachers, or discounts for nonprofits. But it's not just cost. They want to make it easier to use for everyone, no matter how tech-savvy they are.
Got it.
So simpler interfaces, better tutorials, maybe even voice control for people who have trouble typing.
Ah, so like how smartphones became easier to use over time.
Yeah, exactly. They're realizing that for AI to really make a difference, everyone needs to be able to use it.
Makes sense. But it's not just about access, right? They're also making ChatGPT smarter. We talked about its reasoning limitations. How are they going to improve that?
Well, it's not a simple fix, that's for sure. They're working on new algorithms, training the models on even more data, and even getting feedback from experts to help it reason better.
So it's a continuous learning process.
Yeah, kind of like how we help kids develop their thinking skills over time. You give them new info, different perspectives, help them think critically. It's the same with AI. It takes time and effort to get those higher level thinking skills going. But if they can do it, a ChatGPT that can reason really well could change everything. Research, education, problem solving.
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. But we can't forget about the ethics of it all. How is OpenAI handling those concerns about bias, misuse, unintended consequences?
They're definitely taking those seriously. They're doing research to understand and reduce bias in their algorithms, trying to make things more transparent and accountable. They're even developing ethical guidelines for AI development.
So it's not just about making AI smarter, it's about making it more responsible, making sure it's used for the right reasons.
Exactly. And this is where everyone needs to be involved. It's not just OpenAI's responsibility. It's researchers, educators, policymakers, everyone. We need to talk about this openly and figure out how to make AI work for good.
Sounds like a collaborative effort for sure. Well, before we wrap things up, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've learned today. We covered CSU's big move with OpenAI, the potential benefits and challenges of AI in education, and even what it means for society as a whole. What are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think one big takeaway is that AI isn't science fiction anymore. It's already here, changing things fast, especially in education.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how it affects people, how it can empower students and teachers, encourage creativity and critical thinking, and make sure everyone can succeed in this new world.
Absolutely. As we move forward, we need to approach AI with a sense of curiosity, responsibility, and a commitment to doing things the right way. We need to ask the tough questions, talk to each other, and work together to make sure AI benefits everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into ChatGPT and its impact on higher education. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those brains working. Until next time.